So now we go for Junior X30 to Senior X30, and a very, very good morning to Louis Bazire, who joins us on the live stream. Good morning, Louis. He said, yes, I'm very well, thank you very much. And yes, X30 Junior, very, very interesting indeed. Let's take you through the grid for Superheat A. Charlie Gloom and Mathis Merchant will have an all front row for RSD Karting. Stig the Rademaker and MDL's CJ Bennett will be on row 2. Delano Vellens and Max Hazel, row 3. Alexandre Mercier and Marcus Gloom, row 4. Oscar Goodshow and last year's Karting Champions League X30 Junior winner Aaron Vida round out your top 10. Roberto Baz and Flavio Caira round out row 6 ahead of Annabelle Bryan. And Fariz Jalil, who was quickest in qualifying in Group 2 just the other day. Boris Verhagen and Angelo Mali round out row 8. Enzo Ferrari and Mathis Blankert round out row 9 with Kazort House and Matteo Rivals rounding out your top 20. Yanni Bouillet, Lorenzo Notorigo, Matt Pereira Simon, Danny Burrs and Tom Schultz bring up the rear of the field. "25 drivers now go on to their official formation lap. The red lights ignited on the starting gantry ahead of 12 minutes, plus an additional lap of racing. But it has been the fact that RSD Karting, with the crack squad of drivers they have brought this weekend, 5 out of 6 heat wins yesterday. And with 3 of their drivers making up the front row and the inside of row number 2, they do say that strength is in numbers. So the X30 seniors taking part in Superheat A, slow to a crawl. It is going to be Charlie Gloom and the defending X30 senior winner from last year, Mathis Merchant, on the front row. Into the tram lines, revs up, lights on, lights are out, and Superheat A gets going. Straight away to the inside, there's CJ Bennett. He dived in to the inside, mugged the lot of them, and takes the race lead as the man from Ireland. 2 three-way scraps going through into turn 3. There's been a little bit of a touching affair going on. One kart of which that's just gone off is the 202 of Tom Schultz, along with the 230 of Belgium's Mathis Blankert. But it is CJ Bennett that leads the way and has got a 4 to 6 kart length advantage. Change of foot for 4th position between some of the RSD Karting committee that we've got as part of this grid. There is going to be a dive to the inside. I don't know if that might be possibly Delano Vellens. But after the opening lap, it is Ireland's CJ Bennett for Team MDL that leads the way after the opening lap. And he has a lead over Stig the Rademaker of 7/10 of a second. Max Hazel, Marcus Gloom, Charlie Gloom, Mathis Merchant round out your top 6. Alexandre Mercier up past Delano Vellens for P7. Flavio Caira now up into 9th ahead of Adam Vida. So we really have got a race on our hands as Marcus Gloom dives to the inside of Max Hazel. And that is a change for 3rd position. But as you can see by our drone shots, ladies and gentlemen, the track is not completely 100% bone dry, but there is some sort of like water residue. But that will hopefully dissipate as the race carries on. 10¼ minutes still remaining, and CJ Bennett is starting to stretch out a little bit of a lead, maybe by 1/2 tenth or 1/10.5 per sector. Max Hazel dives through and retakes 3rd place as Stig the Rademaker drops down into 4th. Max Hazel has just been blindsided by 3 RSD karts, so that would state to me that the Rademaker through, Merchant through, Charlie Gloom now through. Max Hazel drops all the way down into 6th position. And now the chase starts in earnest. Sharp down to the inside on the Rademaker. And that could be very, that's going to be very costly. Charlie Gloom dives in as well on Stig de Rademaker going into turn number 6, and the 316, the youngster from Belgium, ends up with the short end of the stick, and a dive bomb and a half there by the 246 of Charlie Gloom on Max Hazel through into turn 10, and now it's become a bit of a free-for-all as those in front are starting to clear off into the distance. Marcus Gloom leads. CJ Bennett now in P2. Mathis Michaud now 3rd. Alexandre Mercier is nearly a 3-wide tangle into turn 1. Someone ended up having to use the runoff area, possibly Aaron Vida, I would imagine. That's the 368 for the MP kart racing team. And Oscar Gutschow definitely making up some places. Gets ahead of Max Hazel from Germany. There's Aaron Vida just behind. Stig de Rademaker now loses out a position, and that is it to Matteo Rivals. Looks to be, yes, Matteo Rivals on the Dream Racing entry. So Stig de Rademaker has found that everyone else has got their elbows out, including WJS Racing's Roberto Bars. So the 316 finding these between a rock and a hard place at the moment. But Marcus Gloom starting to pull away. He's put in the fastest lap of the race of 55.273. CJ Bennett is still holding on to 2nd at the moment, but Mathis Michaud is closing the gap to around about 4 and a bit tenths of a second. Mercier, Gloom, and we've had dramas there for the 325, I'm afraid. Enzo Ferrari. And is now going to find that Tom Schultz has decided to dive up the inside of him at turn number 4. Meantime, CJ Bennett has got Mathis Michaud closing in on him. And that is the battle for P2. If they start battling too hard, then it could be the opportunity for Alexandre Mercier in the 290, who rounds out the top 4 to close. Charlie Gloom, as there, is now 5th, as Mathis Michaud gets through on CJ Bennett. So the man for MDL in the 235 representing Ireland now finds himself in 3rd place. It's been the strongest weekend I think I've seen for CJ Bennett for a very, very long time. Ran for a couple of seasons with Victory Lane and had some up and downs, let's say, during the last couple of seasons, but now finding a new home at MDL, he's really found his stride. New chassis, new team, new environment, and he seems to be flourishing at the moment. 6.5 minutes to go, plus an additional lap of this opening superheat for the X30 senior division. So, right, mechanical black flag, and that is going, unfortunately, to the 328 Angelo Milly. Mechanical black flag. So, unfortunately for the Belgian, who's all the way down in 23rd, he's going to have to park that into the pits. I think he's just dived into it. So, that is a very, very much a shame for Angelo Milly. Meantime, still plenty of battling. Yanni Bouillet, who started 21st, now runs 12th. New fastest lap of the race by the 214 with PJM. So he's making some headways, closing in on Stig de Rademaker for what is 11th position. Mathis Michaud now puts in the new fastest lap of the race as a dive to the inside on the 242. That was Faris Jalil for CG Motorsport. He gets through on the driver from Dream Racing, who helped Sam Balota in 2024 to finally capture the Yami Series Benelux X30 senior crown after a big battle with Alessandro Tudisca that year. Tudiska was absolutely on top form for the last couple of rounds of the season. It all came down to one very, very wet X30 Senior A final in October in Corvin in Belgium. Enzo Ferrari has tumbled all the way down to 24th, I'm afraid, as we've got 4.5 minutes to go, plus that additional lap. And Mirshout is no longer the fastest driver around on track. That goes to Farid Jalil. And good to see Helena Blankensport joining us. Morning, Helena. Yep, waiting for the shifters. They'll be out as the last superheat before the lunch break, waiting for the shifters. Mick had some good lap times in warm-up. Yep. We'll see how that translates to the superheat a little bit later on. But meantime, Marcus Gloom leading an RSD Karting 1-2 by about 1.1 seconds. CJ Bennett still holding on at the moment to P3, but has got Alexandre Mercier closing in. So we now go on to lap number 10 of the race, and Marcus Gloom's lead is being whittled away by Mathis Mirsholt, and it's gone down to just over 9/10 of a second. And Adam Vida trying to close in on the 277 of Farid Jalil. This is the battle for P6, as there is Alexandre Mercier closing in on the 235 of MDL's CJ Bennett. They come out of turn number 9. Bennett sticking to the racing line, trying to not provide an opportunity for Mercier to get through as they come out of the left-hand sweeper, which will bring them onto the final couple of corners. Out of turn 11. And there goes Mercier to the inside. Bennett trying with a switchback. Might get the slipstream coming down the start-finish straight. Over the line they go. Where's Bennett going to park the car? Well, decides, as Mercier is staying on the racing line, he will not try and jeopardise the race for both of them. It's either about that sense of urgency, but there are also that times where there's a sense of desperation where someone's going to go in there and not have possibly logically thought it through of what the outcome might be. But then when you have that sense of urgency, you pick your moments when they fit you best and also fit the situation at its best as well at the same time. 10 minutes down, 2 to go here in the first superheat for X30 Senior. And Mathis Mirsholt is lighting up the timesheets purple again. He is closing that gap to Marcus Gloom. You can see that some drivers will like to stay out in front, and then you'll have drivers like Mirsholt. Last year, when him winning the MP4 Motorsport Test Day at Marienburg, started from around 40th in qualifying, and then came through to win the final. And then that's something you couldn't really write. To the inside of CJ Bennett, who's now demoted to 5th position. That is Charlie Gloom going through, and that is a change for 4th place. Meantime, Mirshout is not giving up so far. He just took nearly 0.2 of a second out of teammate Marcus Gloom on the opening sector. Went quickest by about 0.5 of a tenth in sector 2. Two laps remain. Very, very close on lap times. Mathis Mirsholt, with no purple sectors, has just gone in and put in a 55.034, and he is not even a kart length behind his teammate Marcus Gloom as they go into the Europolan, now on the accelerator to around about 115, 120 kilometers an hour before they slam on the brakes. Rotate the kart through into turn 6 and 7, through the sweeper at 8. So the last 2 laps here in the X30 Senior Superheat A are looking rather exciting. We could actually be on the last lap next time around because the time is counting down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, timer hit 0. Last lap is underway. What's the gap between Gloom and Mirsholt? 0.268 of a second. Mirshout lost time in the middle sector last time round, so he's going to make up for it this time. Through into turn 4, they go here on lap number 14. Mirshout closes in under braking. Now down the back straightaway for the final time. Mirshout might be trying to pick his moments. But Mirshout was quicker by 8 100ths in the opening sector. He was quicker by 4 100ths in sector 2. But could it be a run to the line between the two RSD karting teammates? Mirshout, will he put it to the inside? No, but is he going to get the overspeed coming out of the final corner? It's going to be close. It's a photo finish at the line. And it is Marcus Gloom that wins the Superheat A by just 59 thousandths of a second, ahead of Mathis Mirshout. Alexandre Mercier rounds out your top 3. Charlie Gloom, CJ Bennett, Aaron Vida, Farid Jalil, Matteo Rivals, Yanni Bouillet and Oscar Gucho ran at your top 10. Rivals and Bouillet made up 12 places each to finish in the top 10. Good effort by both drivers. Stig de Rademaker would eventually finish 11th, ahead of Max Hazel, Delano Vellens, Flavio Caja and Boris Verhaag, who ran out the top 15. Kaz Orthaus, Roberto Bars, Danny Burrs, Lorenzo Notorigo and Annabelle Bryan round out your top 20. Matt Pereira, Simon, Mathis Blanquet, Enzo Ferrari and Tom Schultz round out the finishers, whereas Angelo Milly would retire in the 3:28 after a mechanical black flag on lap 6. But Marcus Gloom makes it 6 wins out of 7 for RST karting here in X30 Senior. What's going to happen in Superheat B is coming up shortly.